I like speed wagons. I like speed wagons a lot. I like my speed wagons to be red because the red ones go faster. Wag! I'm old Big Mek. This is indeed the Red Ones Go Fasta, and welcome to this video. To those of you that are new to the channel, thank you for joining us. In case you don't already know, it is Orktober, the best month of the year, and for Orktober, we have been putting out a new video every single day of the month, and we have actually done it, and it's been awesome. So if you haven't seen all of them, I highly suggest clicking over to the channel page and going and looking at the Orktober playlist and going through all of them. It's been a ton of fun and an awesome ride. For those of you that have been with me the whole time or already know what's going on, welcome. In today's video, we are talking about speed wagons. Now, old Big Mek in here does indeed enjoy speed wagons. In fact, it might be the only thing old Big Mek enjoys more than Warhammer. I've always been a car person. I've always been into cars, the little toy cars, obviously, and even the big ones. In fact, I have a whole nother YouTube channel that's been going on for more than a decade just about cars. Now, all that being said, when it comes to Warhammer 40k, the undisputed king of speed wagons is, of course, the Orcs. All the way back in the day, there was a game called Gorka Morka, which was an all-orc box game where it was a whole bunch of orc warbands running around battling with each other, and it was basically Mad Max on the tabletop. And they had this really awesome rule where you had a truck or a buggy or whatever, and the capacity was literally the number of models you could put on the vehicle. It's you just stack them up, just pile them high. But when you moved it, if any of them fell off, they died. That was it. They were out of the game, and it was really, really fun. But what they did is, so the orcs had the truck, and then they had a buggy, which was a little shorter, and then they had these tracks. And so it was like this part here, and then they had different, like the Scorcher here has a trailer, and they had different ones with like a gunner standing up here, or different turrets and things like that. And so those were kind of the original speed buggies, and I have that one new on the sprue. But yeah, so orcs have always had a love affair with buggies and speed thingies, and in the lore and in the drawings and stuff, but they never really had the models for it until Games Workshop made them. This monster set is called Speed Freaks, and this is what actually drugged me back into Warhammer 40k. I started playing in 2nd edition, got really serious in 3rd, was super serious 4th and 5th. 6th was announced, and I didn't like it. And life was going on too. It started, family and kids and all that stuff. And so I'd gotten out. I'd sold almost all my armies, the whole 9 yards. And it was just out for all of 6th and all of 7th. And 8th got announced, and it was starting to look kind of interesting. I started to have some more time. And then I saw this box came out. And it's like Gorka Morka, but grimdark, right? And so there's all these bikes and these new speed buggies, and they just look so cool. And I was like, I gotta have this box. And so I bought it, built it, painted it. I've never actually played this game. It does look like it plays a lot of fun. I mean, I've like solo tried, but I haven't found somebody to actually play with it yet. That'd be a super fun battle report. Maybe that's something we could do on the Patreon, right? But anyways, got into that, and then that got me building an orc army and really getting into all of the buggies. And by buggies, I really do mean buggies, not the truck kit. I mean, the truck kit is cool, right? Here is the truck kit, mostly out of the box. I did add a supercharger from a model car, but other than that, this one is actually how you build it in the kit, including the ladders that come up and down and all that stuff. But, I mean, you look at this thing, it doesn't look very fast, right? Even though it is painted red, and I do have the chrome and the blower on it, it's truck. It's not a buggy. And while you can, convert it up, so you take one of the axles out and put an old Gorka Morka buggy engine in there sideways to look like a rotary, and change where the bars go, and take out the gunner and make it look like the orcs inside are gunning, right? You can dress it up a little bit, but it just looks like a bunch of scrap metal moving, right? The buggies were specifically all new sculpts, all new units to replace all those old war tracks and scorchers and things like that. And so there were 5 of them released, I believe. So this is the Shock Jump Dragster. I really like this one, obviously, because it looks like a a dune buggy crossed with a dragster, and it's just so orky. So it's got this engine thingy in the back that is literally like the shock attack gun that the Big Mek has. So this thing can actually jump through the warp and then kind of reappear, which is just super fun. And when you glue it down on the base, it looks kind of hokey because it's got this like super low thing and these soft tires, and you're like, how's that even gonna work? Make it pop a wheelie, and then it all makes sense, right? So really like the shock jump dragster. The other one that came in the Speed Freak set was this. This is the custom boosted Blasta. Now, this thing just screams Mad Max Fury Road, right? You got these big old knobbly tires, you got these big teeth on the grill, it's got 2 engines with exhaust pipes everywhere, it's got this huge rivet cannon turret there on the back, and then there's the little Grat guy. We talked about him in the Grat video yesterday. But yeah, it's an old school hot rod with a bunch of motors and a bunch of flaming pipes, and yeah, it's just really, really, really cool. So I had painted these 2 up, and I was like, I knew I had to get the rest of them. Which I have done. So this is the Boomdaka Snazwagon. We've shown this one a little bit through October as I've been got it all built now and primered. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one as the Shock Jump Dragster, and I'm going to have it mounted doing the Papa Wheelie on the base because it is a dune buggy and it's got the positive camber going on the wheels, you know, like they're up in the sky, and it just looks better like that. I also left the big prow off of it. I thought that looked really dumb and hokey, and just made it really heavy. And what I did to convert it is I actually cut the ends off the prow. That's the big thing that goes on the nose, and I glued them on the opposite sides on the rear to make little fenders, because that's what dune buggies have in real life. And yeah, I think that's just that one simple change. That conversion is all in the box, right? You literally you're leaving a piece off, you cut it into 3 pieces, you glue 2 of those pieces on a different spot, you're done. So that is the Boomdaka Snazwagon. I really like that one. Then there is the Megatrack Scrapjet. Now this one's really cool because it's like the fuselage of a DACA jet, right? It is a lot shorter than the real ones, but it is basically a fuselage from a DACA jet that's been turned into a war buggy. And remember, again, in the Grat video, there's the gunner in the back with the little turret, right? This thing is super, super cool. I'm really looking forward to building this one, even though it is still in the plastic. I'm making myself not open it until I get the Snazwagon done. I'm trying to get them done, and so it's when that one's all painted and done, then I'll open up this one. And then the final buggy to come out was this. This is the Rucka Truck Squig Buggy. If you were into competitive 40K at all in 8th edition when these first came out, you probably hate this thing because they were super overpowered. You could take 9 of them, and they indirect fired the squigs, and they were just super, super powerful. Now, they've been way toned down. You can only take 3 of them now. There was a hot minute where you could only take 3 buggies, period, no matter what they were. So it's nice that you can at least take 3 of each buggy now, but it's not nearly as powerful as it used to be. But model-wise, this has got to be the coolest orc model to ever come out. I mean, look at this thing. It is completely covered in squigs, and in the bed, right there, you've got an entire pile of these squibbling little squigs with a grot helping hand it to the launcher guy to launch it out the thing. I mean, just how cool is that? So yeah, this is the reward. If I get all the other buggies done, then I get to build and paint this one, and then I will have all the buggies. Now, I know the more cunning of you out there are going, wait a minute, Big Mek, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I know that sounds good, but I know you've shown something else before. Yes, I have, and that is this. This is the Death Killa War Trike. Well, not technically a buggy, because it is more of a bike. It came out at the same time, and there was a hot minute there in 8th edition that this was called a speed boss and would call a speed wah instead of a regular wah. And so this was the only thing that was useful with the buggies, and the regular war bosses were useless with them, which made that whole Kill DACA warband thing like really kind of useless. But anyways, it's a really cool kit. The only bad thing about it is he stands so tall, and then the kit is so big that it's hard to transport him or store him. So I've made it where he can actually come out and lay down, and now it can go into a much more efficient transport. This one I did convert up quite a bit. I didn't like the face that they had on the driver/gunner, so I did change that, and I did put the bullet casings coming out of the rifle, and then I totally changed the nose. I didn't like the stacked headlights. I thought that was really weird, so I just used one of the noses to the regular war bikes. And again, this one's got little wheelie bars on it, so of course this one should be doing a pop wheelie. So I do have him done too. So we've got 3 buggies done, as well as 3 trucks. Working on buggy, 2 buggies and a trike done. I'm working on buggy number 3 now, and as soon as that one's done, I will get Scrapjet out and get Scrapjet done, and then when that one's done, I will do Squid Buggy, and then I'll have the full collection of the Orc buggies. Now, again, you can run multiples of them. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get there. I'm kind of the mind right now that I'm going to collect kind of one of everything of Orc before I start getting into really doubles. Now, obviously, you need more than one squad of Grots. You need more than one squad of boys, right? Like, those I'm going to have multiples of. But when it comes to, like, I've only got 1 Gorkanaut, hence Gorky Morky, right? I've only got 1 Stampa. I've only got 1 thing of Flash Kits. I've only got 1 thing of Storm Boys. I've only got 1 thing of Grot Tanks, stuff like that. So I want to make sure that I have one of everything first before I get into doubles. But when I do get into doubles, I think what I'm going to do is buy all of the buggies again and then play mix and match with the buggies. So, like, for example, the smooth tires on the Shock Jump Dragster here, you can switch those out with the big knobbly tires on the custom booster blaster, right? So, and maybe switching the engines out, right? Putting different hood scoops on different ones, different exhaust pipes, things like that. And just kind of play mix and match with all of them to make the second set of buggies be different than the first, because no 2 Orc contraptions are going to be alike. That's why I've converted my trucks so heavily, so that they don't look anything like each other, because Orcs are just scrap welders. They're not going to follow a standard template construct. What are you, some sort of beaky? All right, well, I hope you all have enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please do me a favor and you click some buttons down below. It really helps the channel out with the algorithm and getting us spread out there, which means a whole lot to me, because boy, have we had some really fun conversations and learned a lot together and gotten great feedback from the community. So if you like the video, dislike the video, either way, click the button, subscribe if you not already. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for joining us and being part of Orktober. For those of you that missed the video yesterday, I highly suggest joining my Patreon. Even at the free level, one of the things you can get there is the link on where to order this custom printed hardbound version of the original Orc Codex. So these are the kind of things that we are talking about. Obviously the Grot Tanks and where to get those, stuff like that. So we're all about tips and tricks. We're all about saving teeth. We're all about celebrating Warhammer 40K and especially Orcs. So until next time, Wagon!